Ready for real love? How to Call in Your Soulmate. Storytime by Santoro. Have you ever given your heart to someone who didn't see your worth? Have you stayed too long in a love that dimmed your light, all while secretly wondering if your true soulmate is still out there? If you are listening right now, it may be because love has tested you. As you stay with this 5-chapter story until the end, you will discover not only why meditation is the most powerful tool for healing a broken heart, but also how it gives you the confidence to love again stronger, wiser, and freer. Before we begin, take a moment to like this story and share it so it may reach others who are searching for healing and strength. Your simple act of love helps these blessings find the hearts that need them most. Chapter 1. How to Attract Your Soulmate. Eddie, Mark, and Julian had flown to the Bahamas for a 2-day getaway. On the surface, it was all about the pristine beaches, the warm sunshine, and of course the locals' favorite appetizer, conch fritters. But beneath the laughter and sunshine, each of them carried a quiet ache for something deeper. Eddie, the dreamer, gazed out at the ocean as if it held some hidden wisdom. His voice softened into a plea. "Universe, how can I attract my soulmate?" Mark, the skeptic, stood beside him and shook his head. "Soulmate? Come on, man. This isn't a spiritual retreat." Julian, the playful one, lifted his glass high and called out toward the waves. "I know my soulmate is out there, and I'm ready to meet you." The three laughed, but beneath it, they all felt the same truth. They were tired of shallow relationships. They longed for a real connection, someone who would truly see them, someone who would love them without conditions, the way every heart secretly longs to be loved. That evening, while wandering through the hotel courtyard, they noticed a sign posted near the tiki hut. "Love. What is it and how can you find it?" If you have ever truly desired to meet your soulmate, join us this evening for proven practices you can begin right now. Eddie's eyes lit up. "See, guys? The ocean answered our prayer. This is destiny." Mark crossed his arms. "Or maybe it's just some local trying to sell his book." Julian grinned. "Either way, I'm in after all. They're serving free snacks." Chapter 2. Soulmates, Twin Souls, and Twin Flames. The courtyard glowed under the tiki torches as guests and locals gathered, whispering with curiosity. The teacher stepped forward. "Hello and welcome. I am Professor Love." "Yes, that's right, Professor Love." He paused, then asked, "I have a question for all of you. What are the 3 types of soulmates?" Silence hung in the air. No one answered right away. Professor Love nodded and continued. "All right then, I will start us off. A soulmate is someone you share a deep natural bond with, built on love, trust, and compatibility. They help you grow emotionally and spiritually, and you can have more than one in a lifetime. A twin soul is a mirror of your own essence, like 2 bodies sharing one spiritual core. Meeting them feels intensely familiar and sparks profound transformation. A twin flame is the other half of your soul, reflecting both light and shadow. The connection is powerful, often turbulent, and meant to drive healing, awakening, and spiritual growth. The professor smiled as he asked the gathering, "Which type of soulmate do you believe you are?" Eddie leaned in, eyes wide. "For me, I'm thinking twin soul. I like the image I hold in my mind." Mark shook his head and muttered, "Or maybe that's just a romantic way to explain your overactive hormones." The courtyard burst into laughter. Julian grinned and said, "Well, if I'm a twin flame and my soul split in 2, I hope the other half is taller than me and already dating his soulmate." The professor smiled. "Even humor holds wisdom," he said. He continued, "As Dr. Jonathan Parker reminds us, the soulmate bond touches a special resonance, a sense of union with another like spirit. But he also warns, you are not a half waiting for another half. You are already whole." Mark muttered. "That's convenient. If I don't find someone, I can just say I am whole already." Julian slapped him on the back. Relax, skeptic man. You just might find your soulmate sitting right next to you. Mark looked at him. If my soulmate is you, I'm filing a complaint with the universe. The courtyard was filled with laughter. Kathy, a local from the next town over, spoke softly from the back, her voice carrying the weight of experience. I stayed too long in a relationship that dimmed my light, she said. I thought love meant sacrifice, but really, I was sacrificing myself. The courtyard grew quiet, every ear turning toward her truth. Professor Love nodded. Yes, and that realization is the beginning of true love. Soulmate love never asks you to dim your light. It asks you to shine brighter. Near the tiki torches, Jessica added gently, when I learned to love myself, the right partner finally appeared. My heart stopped chasing, and instead, it started attracting. Several of the women in the courtyard nodded, their faces bright with understanding. Professor Love's eyes softened. Beautifully spoken. That longing you feel is not a sign that you are incomplete. It is your higher self inviting you to expand, to share your wholeness with another person, not to depend on them for it. An older gentleman chuckled from the back row. My wife told me the same thing for 40 years. She always said, stop trying to fix me and just love me. The gathering laughed and clapped. Another guest asked, so does that mean there is not just one perfect person out there? Professor Love answered gently, that's right. There are many people who may resonate with your soul. The depth of the connection depends on how open you are to giving and receiving love. And to be clear, what we are talking about tonight is the romantic partner you recognize as your soulmate in a personal relationship. And know this, a soulmate is not always romantic. Sometimes it may be a best friend or someone whose spirit deeply resonates with yours. A bond that goes beyond romance and into the heart of true companionship. Mark raised a brow, still confused. So you're saying my soulmate might not be my girlfriend, but maybe a really good friend? I don't get it. How will I ever know who is my soulmate and who is just a friend? The professor smiled. Great question. It's like this. When two soulmates meet for the first time, there is often a sudden recognition, a sense of familiarity as if you have known each other forever. It feels like ease and excitement all at once. The energy settles. Your heart lifts, and something inside simply whispers, this is home. The professor let those words linger in the air for a while. Chapter 3. Becoming the Love You Seek. Professor Love stood in the center of the gathering and spoke with quiet wisdom. You want to know how to attract your soulmate, the partner you are meant to be with? First, I strongly suggest that you stop looking at everyone you meet as if they just might be your soulmate. Stop searching this gathering with desperate eyes. You must first become a partner to your own soul. The professor paused, letting his words settle. As Delilah often says on her radio show, the love you are searching for out there is the same love you need to nurture in here. When you fill your own heart first, the right person will recognize that light and be drawn to it. Shantae raised her hand. Her voice, trembling yet steady, rose as she spoke. I spent years in a relationship that drained me. I thought if I just loved harder, he would change. But when I finally loved myself enough to walk away, that's when my life began to heal. The courtyard grew quiet. Her words echoed in the hearts of many listening. Professor Love bowed his head slightly in respect. Yes, that is the truth. When you choose yourself, you step into alignment with love. He lifted his gaze back to the group. And as Abraham Hicks reminds us, this soulmate love connection is alignment. When you are joyful, grateful, and in harmony with yourself, you radiate a frequency that draws like energy in. It is like tuning into Delilah's love radio show. When you tune into love, love tunes into you. Eddie clutched his heart. Yes, I need to align with my highest self. Mark said in a playful voice to Julian. What you really need to do is shower a bit more often, and maybe reconsider dating people who literally call themselves professional demolition experts. The group chuckled, the heaviness lifting just enough. Professor Love smiled patiently and spoke softly. The secret to attracting your soulmate is simple. Be the love you want to meet. Chapter 4. The Stoic Twist. The evening deepened, and the talk turned philosophical. Professor Love spoke with calm conviction. As the Stoics believed, there is no external person who will ever complete you. Julian raised a hand. So if fate brings me pizza, should I marry it? The guests chuckled. A young woman near the tiki bar called out, her eyes sparkling. Only if the pizza brings you joy every single day. Laughter rippled through the courtyard. A gray-haired man sitting cross-legged added, Careful though, pizza gets cold fast. Professor Love, without hesitation, smiled and said, A real soulmate keeps the fire alive. Fate can bring many things, but it is up to you to bring love to the relationship. The laughter faded into thoughtful silence. Sue, from the middle row, spoke to the gathering. I used to think love was about finding someone perfect. But real love showed up when I learned to bring warmth into the relationship myself. That's how the fire stays alive. Professor Love nodded, his eyes kind. Yes, exactly, a soulmate doesn't arrive to complete you. It's you who shares the love energy you already carry within. Eddie leaned toward his friends. See, even the pizza is teaching us now. Mark rolled his eyes, but a smile tugged at his lips. Maybe love is less about finding perfection, and more about learning to love what is already here within. Chapter 5. A Night to Remember. By the time the tiki torches burned low, the three friends had learned more than they ever expected. Professor Love stepped forward one last time, his voice gentle yet charged with energy. Remember this? He said. To attract your soulmate, begin by becoming your own soulmate. Dr. Parker has shown us that we are already whole, and that clearing away fear and doubt opens the space for love to find us. And Abraham Hicks reminds us that joy is your greatest magnet. When you choose happiness, you call in a partner who resonates with that frequency. The key is that you and your partner both bring love into the relationship, rather than demanding it from one another. He looked across the courtyard, his gaze settling for a moment on everyone listening intently. Your soulmate does not arrive because you are empty, but because you are overflowing with love. Never dim your light for anyone. The right person will rise to meet it. The courtyard grew silent, every heart stirred. A woman in the crowd wiped a tear from her cheek, whispering softly, That's the love I've been waiting for. Professor Love's tone softened into a loving voice. As you leave here tonight, feel the energy of love in your thoughts, in your words, and in your actions. To attract your soulmate, become the love you seek, and love will find you. Then, like sparks leaping from the flames, a wave of applause rose into the bohemian night. Follow the next story as we go deeper. See you in the stillness. Story spoke to you, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and remember to click the bell so you always hear a new story. And if you know someone who could use this message, share it with them. Because sometimes, a simple story is all it takes to spark something real.